I'm the Frame Runner, and in this video we'll be looking at the future of Soulframe. I went back and looked at every single Devstream and DevShort in order to figure out what information and features have been previously talked about but not yet implemented into the game. This was actually a user suggested idea, so if there's anything you want me to cover, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Anyways, let's get started. Starting off with Devstream 1, it didn't really have anything new in terms of content. The only thing that really caught my eye was this concept art. To the far right there's a pact that I don't think anyone has seen before in-game, so it's possible that we might see this pact in the future. In Devstream 2, the main takeaways were a possible founders pack and player trading. First off, they show a primeval envoy called Josulfar. A primeval envoy is essentially the first generation of envoys in Soulframe's history, and it was said that this envoy will most likely come in a set of 3 envoys in something akin to a founders pack. However, this pack won't be completely exclusive to those who buy it, because it was said that some people who get this pack will actually be able to craft a version of it with Tuvokane the blacksmith that they can share with whomever they want. There's also another envoy as a part of this pack named Pathia that I'll show a little later in the video. It was also mentioned that there will be some sort of player-to-player trading economy in Soulframe, just like there is in Warframe, which I'm personally very excited for. In Devstream 3, they confirmed that Soulframe will be coming to consoles sometime in the future. Another thing they showed was some concept art of a Night Maiden. Your mother, who you were actually only able to see during Soulframe's opening, was actually a Night Maiden, and the devs talked about creating a fable showing what your mother was capable of. They also showed the pups that you get to choose from at the end of Orangol's quest, and mentioned that the pup you've chosen will eventually become a mount that you will be able to name and customize. In Devstream 4, they showed Neathans, a new dungeon area alongside the city of Durmak, the Glades, and the Crypt. And if you watch the demo of the Bromius fable, that fable actually takes place in Neathans. We were also shown this concept art of an unreleased enemy type mounted on a horse. Here is some concept art of another primeval envoy called Pathia. They actually called her a primordial envoy here, but I'm pretty sure those titles are synonymous, and Pathia represents the virtue of courage and will be in the founders pack I mentioned earlier along with Josulfar. This is a future ancestor called Adijan. His pact was also shown to us in Devstream 6, but we don't exactly know what role Adijan is meant to play for the future. Next is a new enemy type called a Corrupted Sotarian, a creature who was once a caretaker of nature in Soulframe but became corrupted by the Ode. We also got to see a new weapon called the Synod Sword, and on the right you can see the blade split apart, and they mentioned that this form will probably occur whenever you perform a heavy attack. A few other things they lightly touched on in this devstream was transmog, the ability to change the look of a piece of gear without losing its stats, and updating the codex to include where fragments and materials drop, so players won't have to resort to looking at wikis or asking other players, and I really hope they follow through with that second one, as I think it would make a lot of players' lives easier. In Devstream 5, the devs mentioned implementing a system where if you discover all of the world trees, you would actually receive a weapon as a reward. But as of right now, one of the world trees is currently on an unreachable island off to the side of the map, so nobody can get the weapon even if it has been implemented, which I don't think is the case. We got some more concept art here, including a sword or maybe a set of daggers that has a striking resemblance to Orangol's pact. And also this Ode Castaway armor set and a new pact that we will probably see in the future. The last thing worth mentioning from this devstream is that the devs want to make something like an existing Tenogen marketplace from Warframe, a place where the community can make cosmetic items that the devs can implement into the game, which I think is a great idea. In Devstream 6, they showed off this new enemy type, the Young Tempest Bayor, who can also be seen holding the sword from Devstream 7. In this art we can see Kaban, a new ancestor who is said to act as a merchant within the Nightfold. Unfortunately, we don't really know what kind of items we'll be able to get from him yet. This concept art shows a caster weapon that has yet to be released into the game. We were also shown a variety of new hair customizations in both this devstream and Devstream 8, so I thought I'd show them both here. Swimming was also confirmed in this devstream. We didn't get any in-game visuals, but they mentioned swimming animations being in the works at this point, so we'll probably have a new traversal option in the future instead of having to walk around those massive bodies of water that constantly obstruct your path. Devstream 7 covers mostly everything in Preludes 11, so there's not really much to talk about that isn't already in my Devstream 8 highlights video, which I'll link in the cards, but that being said, I did want to go into a little more detail regarding the motes and rune system. In the new upcoming mote system, motes will essentially become a 4th ability that will change depending on which mote you have equipped. Unlike your other abilities, which operate under a cooldown, motes will actually be charged by using your smite ability, so the more often you smite enemies, the faster you can charge your mote ability. As for runes, they will function similarly to the current mote system in the sense that they will give small increases to your stats. For example, this rune here will increase your chance of staggering enemies, and this one will increase your chance of smiting enemies while performing perfect throws with melee weapons and charged shots with ranged weapons. You'll be able to collect and equip both major and minor runes alongside your mote, and I'm very excited for this new system, but unfortunately, the recent dev short revealed that the new system will not be released with Preludes 11. And the last and most recent Devstream, of course, was Devstream 8, filmed live at TennoCon 2025. I mentioned my highlights video earlier, but there were actually some things I didn't include in that video that I wanted to mention here, starting with what was referred to as a martial arts manual. This segment was a little confusing, but from my understanding, instead of having that fixed skill tree that we currently have with weapons, you'll instead be able to collect and learn techniques from ancestors and quests around the world, and then you'll be able to write them in your own personal martial arts manual, allowing you to tailor your fighting style and bring more customization to your overall combat experience. Unfortunately, it was said in the most recent Soulframe short that this concept most likely won't be implemented into Preludes 11. And lastly, there was this crab-like enemy that showed up in the Bromius Fable demo that I simply forgot to mention before. And that is pretty much everything not yet implemented into Soulframe that you need to know about. I'm glad the devs are open with their progress as it gives us a clear vision of the future of Soulframe. Again, the idea for this video was suggested to me by one of you guys, so if there's anything you'd like me to cover, please do let me know in the comments below, as I'd like to know what you guys might need more clarity on. Hi, FrameRunner from the future here. So literally as soon as I finished this video, the devs actually released another Devstream, Devstream 9, and it has a ton of new information. I was originally planning on adding that information into this video, but it just felt like so much new information that I'm deciding I want to make it into a separate video entirely. Some of the info from this current video you're watching was even confirmed in that new Devstream. Since this video's done now, I'll get started on that one and try to get it out as soon as possible. I'm hoping somewhere within the next few days. If this video was helpful to you and you'd like to see more, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. Anyways, it's been the Frame Runner. Thank you for watching, and hopefully more in the future.